I've dealt with hurricanes and tropical storms, but this was on a different level. The area it covered, for instance, from like Asheville's an hour from here, so they got damaged. Boone got damaged, that's another hour. Going and seeing sites that were close to a river or a creek and just seeing total washouts, seeing the devastation from a mudslide. I mean, it's like it came from a movie. There's one that I just can't get out of my head. It was from a mudslide, and it was, the guy said they were coming to rescue him, so he was buried in the mud. And they were asking, hey, we need to go get your family. He said, don't worry about it. And they were like, no, we need to get your family. He said, well, my wife's holding my ankle right now. There's PTSD, obviously, from, the amount of destruction and impact it made on people's lives. Some are looking at the positive side and saying, hey, I'm alive. And then some are, unfortunately, are still angry. Like, why? Why did this happen? Why did I lose my loved one? It took the storm, I think, to bring unity. It brought unity in our church, but also brought unity to our area. Especially in that first 2 weeks, I mean, everybody just dropped what they're doing and was, helping their neighbor. And I heard so many stories of people saying, well, I didn't even know my neighbor. Now I know my neighbor's name. And, if a farmer had equipment, they'd pack it up, carry it where it's needed. People who owned commercial bulldozers and stuff like that used it to help get people's roads back together. And by helping folks, it gives us the opportunity to connect with people, share the gospel with them, share the good news of Jesus, and bring some hope into what their hopelessness looks like. I've never seen miracles on the level that was performing. Anything we needed, God provided for. We needed a well, God made a way for that. Every time we'd lack something like the storage containers, where are we going to put this stuff? How can we do it? He made it happen. So many donations that coming in that help us help others. The volunteers that came from all over the place, filled this church, filled this property. After several months, people wanting to get back to the way it was. It just wasn't time. I don't think the word normal is something our community can use yet. It's getting there, but even when school's starting back, I mean, it's a big change. The schools have more kids than before. There's a lot of families still living in campers or a tiny home instead of their home, so they're waiting to get back into a home. And some of the process of getting permits and getting electricians, plumbers, and all that's been difficult coming here, so it's just taking a lot more time than I think what some were expecting. Each case is different depending on what they needed. I think those who are close to creeks or rivers, it's a little slower process. Cars and all that stuff that got washed away, I mean, there's the funding act can come in and get that stuff all the way. Even though it's slow, it's still been going good. I mean, roads have been rebuilt, bridges have been rebuilt. Some people's homes are getting built from the ground up, and we've been fortunate enough to host people in the church and let them come stay while they go just literally build a house from the bottom up. We've poured into this elementary school because there's been families that's been affected in so many different ways, depending on their circumstances. Again, some are looking at it as a positive. They're alive, they've lost stuff, but it could have been worse. But to me, I don't think kids understand. They're having a hard time still comprehending. Some got separated from their schools and got put in different schools because 2 schools got lost, so that's been difficult for them. But luckily the local church and other organizations were able to be there to counsel them and help them through it. During Christmas, we had several toy giveaways, and all of that came from outside donations, whether it was toys, whether it was stockings that came from Salem Outreach. What pleased my heart was just the smiles that came from it. 98% of people probably welcomed prayer. It was not a lot of people said no. And when you ask, well, what do you want me to pray about? That's when it hits home sometimes. And then we did an Easter event at the elementary school, and we gave every kid kind of a Easter stocking or Easter basket, and had stuffed animals in it. And seeing a kid grab that stuffed animal and just squeeze it and hug it, because they're probably not getting that from a literal human being, to seeing the joy in their life. But this has brought us together, which is the bigger picture of the gospel that, through Christ, we're not separated, we're united. I mean, just pray for the rebuilding, continue for those that are suffering from PTSD or still a hopelessness. Myself and everyone else that I've talked to, we're just so grateful. The outpouring of support's been tremendous. I mean, it's been from many, many states across America have come in and brought supplies and volunteered their time to come in and still volunteer their time. So we're just very, very grateful that the people still remember us and have taken away from their own time and their own families to come help our community rebuild.